there, not with a clear mind, with more questions than answers. And I was not, to be honest with you, I wasn't impressed. I really honestly wasn't. I could see that it was a big production. I could see a lot of energy and a lot of time, a lot of money went into it. But the simple explanations that you need to get people to make a decision at that time were not there. They were overlooked. And that's what you need. You have to remember is that it's the simple things, the little things that everybody overlooks.
It's like going into an exam unprepared.
That's right. You know, you ever hear people say, don't sweat the little things? Well, you know what? You should. Because it's the little things that make us who and what we are.
Yep.
Everybody's concerned with the big things. Everyone, and I've seen it throughout this whole thing, everyone is concerned with the big things. But it's the little things that make us who and what we are, and it's the little things that we really have to take care of. Because it's the little things that create the questions, and if we can get the answers at the same time, hey, we got a winning combination.
Absolutely.
Well, it was a start, basically. So whenever we have a start, it never is without problems. It always is with some problem. But I guess what we had that spirit. We saw people, you know, changing their attitude. They got more interested. They started to get more involved. I certainly saw them nodding like that when Eric was asking them how many people would you be able to bring to the next show. So there was a certain dialogue happening between him and the audience, and that was a great thing. Maybe I would want to see more people, obviously, at the opening. However, I know that it's up to us right now to really build this thing and to really get other people, other provinces involved and other leaders involved. I was approached by a number of leaders from Edmonton, from Nova Scotia, from Newfoundland. They want to get involved. However, they do not know how to start. They do not know how to approach it, where to begin. How do you get others involved? What do you say to them? And I guess it has to, it all boils down to a simplicity. It doesn't have to be very complex. It just can be like 2 or 3 sentences. And basically what right now the management wants from us, they want us to start doing things, you know, one step at a time and focus in 3 areas. In regards to Canada, they want us to start doing Canada-wide web conferences, and as a primary way for uVme to sort of carry the word out and to explain what uVme is all about. Then they want us to do joint conferences with UK, with US, with other countries, so that we could share our experiences and what's going on in various countries, and that sort of gives people a bigger perspective on things in the world. How is uVme happening in the world out there? You know? And then, of course, the local uVme shows. For somebody like I read it on their website, if you want to really meet somebody belly to belly, you really have to go to the roadshow.
That's right.
So these are the 3 areas. What do you think could be other ways of involving people, in your opinion? What do you think, guys?
Well, I think that you hit it right on the head when you're saying, well, we talked about it before, internet marketing. But getting out to doing the road shows, we've got to make sure that we have enough people in an area. Let me give you an example. Let's take London, Ontario. If we got 2 or 3 people in London, Ontario, and we're getting those people on the web conference. So we're doing a web conference, and we put it out and said, look, if you got, let's make it a number, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, in your area, once you have that many people signed up in your area, we'll come and do a roadshow for you. But you've got to have whatever number we say, let's say 30 people in your area. So if you got 30 people in London, Ontario, we'll come out and do a roadshow.
That's when half of them off there.
London? Charles always puts his own spin on whatever people are saying.
Literally, we can do this anywhere across Ontario. Actually, anywhere across Canada if we want. Yeah. We can set up. When you're talking about web conferencing, is that we can set it up so that we have 1 or 2 days a week with the public, And we can set up so we have one day for leaders. There's all kinds of different things we can do. We can have special training classes that we don't let the public know about. We only let certain people know about, people who want to be presenters, people who want to get it going in their area, people who want to do their own roadshow. And there's all kinds of things that we can create right here that we can send us to them. And we can show them how to use it online.
That's an excellent point,
Very
Fred.
good.
In fact, this morning I received an email from Eric Green, who is an absolutely fantastic leader from US, and also he does a lot of stuff on YouTube, something that we don't do, or at least don't do just yet. He is very, very refined when it comes to internet marketing and using the internet tools. But also he has a fairly strong, downline in his other network marketing business, and that's how he tries to get people involved. So obviously we would want people like him, I guess, first and foremost. And he said that he would like to introduce somebody in Toronto to our group, which would be absolutely fantastic. Somebody who's a leader, somebody who has experience in network marketing. So we always have to be on the lookout for people like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Very good. Now, I guess if we discussed the successes and the way we want to develop this thing here in Canada and in North America, I want to introduce my vision to you guys. You've probably already seen the project that I put together, and it took me some time to develop it, and it's still sort of being developed right now, because I don't think that things like that can have, defined beginning and the defined ending. It's sort of, project on the go, and it will be developing, and at one point hopefully it will take off and has a life on its own, and I will be able to move on to other similar projects. So if we use this as a pilot, in a nutshell, it's very simple. And let me use a quote of one of the business development coaches that I respect and admire, and I consider to be my mentor. His name is Rich Efren. He has his own company called Strategic Profits, and all he does for a living is he coaches online marketers, online gurus, people who are making millions of dollars online. So what he said was this: the most successful companies like Starbucks and Apple develop an innovative culture that serves as a basis for a real connection with consumers. The company's products, its people, become an attention conduit for clients and consumers. Attention is served over and over again to great success. So what Rich is driving at here is basically we have to focus on less, and what we should really focus on is attention. Attention is the same as cash, and where attention is paid, cash follows. So if we sort of try to focus instead of going width, but if we try to focus on depth and then start growing, really mining depth, then we can sort of develop very, very strong venue.
In other words, you're saying put down the roots.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to put down the roots. And if you read a book by Chris Anderson that is called The Long Tail, this is sort of where the whole industry right now is going. People are turning away from mass media, from mass entertainment. They're trying to create their own areas of interest, and usually they're very, very narrow niches. They're very specialized areas. That's why internet TV is becoming so popular. That's why companies like Amazon, for example, are so successful, is because they are catering to smaller groups of people, but with a clearly identified interest. So I used kind of the same approach in creating this project here. It's called uVme Toronto, and what it is basically a Toronto online gaming club. The way I broke down this project is three parts. The first, I basically outlined what I wanted to do, the what. The second part is the why me, why uVme, and why the club. And then the third part is the how we're going to do it. So in the first part, I was basically talking about what Club uVme Toronto can be for Torontonians. And you know what's happening right now. The situation is the government is really lacking a lot of financing, and a lot of community homes have to close down their doors. So all of those young people are basically thrown out in the streets with no way to go. So what I was trying to think first and foremost is that what is going to happen to all of these young kids? Where are they going to go? So a Club uVme Toronto can be a fantastic venue to attract all of those young people who are right now without a home. What can this club be is home away from home for this young generation. Those folks are very, very extremely computer savvy. They're not like us. We grew up without computers, and you know, you remember we had to. It was a big learning curve for us. Younger generation, to them using iPods and computers and cell phones with tons of gizmos attached to them is really nothing. PDA, it can be anything, all on the same device. So knowing that, they're all kind of craving for the idea of an online gaming club. They really would like to see those, on every street corner. However, wherever they turn to, it's more or less Starbucks taking over. So I thought, okay, it would be totally useless to try to compete against something like Starbucks. However, if you sort of turn away from that and if you start thinking, okay, what is an easy target, you can see that there's lots of cyber cafes, internet cafes, and the sole purpose of those internet cafes is just to basically help the owner to sell food and drinks. So those places can be easily acquired, but of course that's not how we're going to start. First, what we will try to do is really create the club, and the club will be serving several purposes: communication, education, leadership development, and then customer service. So basically we will be communicating the idea of uVme to its members. We will be attracting people who are interested just to start playing games maybe, and then once they see that there's a really business opportunity attached, they would want to upgrade. Simple as that. Now, they will be asking lots of questions, and VWD obviously doesn't matter how many blogs and how many venues they have, they are unable to service all this amount of questions that is going to pop up after the launch. So there has to be a place where they can actually call, email, or actually show up at the door and ask us those questions. So this will be the function of this club. The third function is leadership development, because leaders, they usually put themselves forward. They usually come to you. You don't really need to look for them. And that will be another function of the club. So another reason why would people want to come to a venue like this. Lots of areas in Toronto, and I know that Tony, for example, can attest to that, are very, very, how to say, shaky when it comes to providing a stable internet connection. There's no standard. The service goes from very, very good to totally unacceptable. There's no standard for, like, yes, let's upgrade all of these network cards, or let's just go to the most stable provider because there's kind of a war going on. So consumer is the one that suffers the most, and I know a lot of people who don't even have computers at home. They would love to play games, like Charles's cousin, for example. She still remembers Pachinko, the game that she liked to play when she was in Japan. But right now she cannot find those machines anywhere, and her internet connection is very poor. Another cousin of yours, she doesn't even have she doesn't even have a computer, even though she would like to certainly come in and play as well. And because of that, I think the idea of the club of this sort would be very, very useful. for any kind of people, not only just young generation, but can be anybody. Now, the idea of a club would be something that would be able to provide guaranteed web access. If we use a venue like, for example, 151 Front Street, which is a home to over 150 telecommunications companies with very, very stable internet connection that provides full redundancy, full backup of the internet services and the fastest internet service possible at very, very little cost. Because those guys deal in volume, obviously, that would be very, very beneficial. People would want to come in, and they would know that they can do, a very big tournament, amongst other members or against other members living somewhere on the other end of the universe. But the connection would be very stable, and obviously, the money that they put down, they have to, there will be a peace that, nothing's going to be lost, the game is not going to freeze, and everything's going to be fine and seamless. So, unfortunately, you cannot do the same thing at home. So you have to have a venue like that. Now, in terms of social significance, I already mentioned that it will be very safe, air-conditioned. No, that's okay, thank you. Air-conditioned, vibrant environment. And the users will enjoy it. They will be just coming in for fun. They will be coming in because they will meet somebody there. They will enjoy the company, the community, right? So that's another aspect. They will have a common goal in mind, and that's how we can start growing uVme online gaming and uVme business community here in the city. So that could be used as a pilot project, and then we could go anywhere we want, be it UK, US, anywhere else in the world. Now, talking about the whys, why me? I think I have experience that is required in order to sort of take on a project of this size. Why? Because I have a tremendous empathy for our target market. Our target market is people who are usually very good at what they do. They're trying to seek opportunity that would sort of help them move ahead in life. However, they cannot find this opportunity. They keep trying, and then they get disappointed. They keep trying, and then they get disappointed. Only for the reason that they're very good at what they do, but they do not necessarily have the skills that are required in order to start and grow something of the, of the powerful nature. So, in terms of my strengths, I have my education, my community building experience, and business experience that I can share here. My education, I'm a teacher, so because I'm a teacher, I think I can teach others and help others, in terms of doing something and doing something successfully. To achieve, exactly. I have community building experience. I helped build a very big church community. Started from just 3 members in my hometown, and right now it's over 5,000 members. So last year they finally got their own building for the church, and I was very, very happy, to find out about it. And I'm still, in touch with their district evangelist, who still remembers me and thinks of me as one of the people who started it. Now, in terms of business experience, I had my business even back home in Russia. I have a business here that Charles and I started in 1998. So in terms of doing a business in North America, obviously it will help me with that. Plus, I've been doing strategic business consulting also. And I